6'7", 237 pounds, averaged 18 yards a grab the last 2 years of college. To draft him in the 6th round is what you call a sleeper pick, and the Eagles gotta use him. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. So here's something that most people know, unless you're a delusional Dallas Cowboy fan. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be good this year. They are going to be very good. One of the top teams in the NFC, and I see no reason why this team can't get to the NFC Championship game at the very least. And as good as they are, and we know they're going to be good, could you imagine if just one of these mid to late round picks pan out, if they get a gem or a true sleeper out of this past draft, if they have guys pan out of this draft class with a team that's already good, watch out, league. You're in big trouble. The Eagles, I'm telling you, they're on the verge. They're on the verge of being able to win this whole thing. They just have to have a few things go their way. And we've talked about all the rookies, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. We've talked about Jalix Hunt, and there's a lot of upside for a lot of these guys. I think this draft will probably go down as Howie Roseman's best draft. I really believe that at the end of the day. From start to finish of this draft, I thought the Eagles hit it out of the park. And one of the guys that I'm very excited about, a lot of us are very excited about, is a guy by the name of Johnny Wilson. Now, here's the thing with Johnny Wilson. Bleacher Report just put out rookies to watch in camp. Rookies who have been looked over and could be giant sleepers for their team. They put out a list of players who they thought would be those guys. And you know who's one of the guys on top of the list? That's right, Johnny Wilson. 6'7", 237-pound wide receiver. And the thing is when you hear that, you go, oh man, he should probably play tight end. But when you see his frame, you go, no. This kid is clearly going to be a wide receiver in this league. And did you know he averaged 18 yards? 18 yards per catch the last 2 years of college. I mean, that is unbelievable. And Bleacher Report has him listed as a sleeper for players in the draft, guys that were overlooked headed into camp, and he's on the list. So here's a little of what Bleacher Report said about him and why he is considered one of the big sleepers going into training camp. There aren't many receivers who have Johnny Wilson's combination of size and the ability down the field. There's a big reason he averaged 17 yards per catch in college, including 18 yards per grab over the last 2 years of Florida State. Quote, Johnny Wilson is a skyscraper-sized wide receiver with surprising movement and ability and impressive polish. Offensive skill position scout Derek Klassen wrote in the Florida State Product Scouting Report. Quote, Wilson is 6'7" and 237 pounds, and he sports outrageously long arms over 35 inches. His size alone makes him difficult to bully at the line or throughout his routes. He supplements that with crafty use of his length and impressive power to run through physical defensive backs. As a route runner, Wilson has much more to him than his ball winner frame suggests. He plays with surprisingly quick feet and smooth hips. Wilson is able to throttle down, pause no diddy, and burst out of his route breaks with relative ease and for a player of his size. So they're basically saying there's a 6'7" mud humper who is out there that can outleap everybody, who's fast for his size, and has tons of skill. To get him in the 6th round, the Eagles, to get him in the 6th round was truly a steal. And here's the good thing for Wilson, right? He might have been taken in the 6th round, and many people thought he should have gone a lot earlier. However, he goes into a situation where you have your 1 and 2 receiver set, and then you have really a wide open battle going on with the number 3 wide receiver. Paris Campbell, who many people think is going to run away with the job. I don't. And then you have, Nia Smith, who I think will win the job. But, Johnny Wilson here could definitely be the guy to go in and win a job. There's not many people that have a 6'7" size. Okay, when you're that big and you have some speed to you, it makes it very, very hard for people to do things that you can do. I mean, at the very least, you got to think the Eagles look at this kid and say, man, he's 6'7", 237 pounds. Throw him the ball. In the red zone, let him just go up at the corner of the end zone and beat the defensive back and catch the ball. You just gotta put him out there and you gotta play him. It could be a situation where you look at Nia Smith and you look at Johnny Wilson and you say, all right, these two guys we're going to use in the slot at different times. Red zone, we want Wilson out there. Between the 20s, we'll have Nia Smith out there. I love Nia Smith's yards after the catch, by the way. But Johnny Wilson listed as one of Bleacher Report's biggest sleepers headed into training camp for draft picks. I totally see why. I mean, physically, he has everything they need. 6'7", 237 pounds. And I can't wait to see this kid take the field. So it's not surprising to me at all that he would be considered one of the biggest sleepers to head into training camp as a draft pick. And the fact that he doesn't have a huge names to jump over the depth chart to get to that number 3 spot. You could see a situation where the Eagles, both their third and fourth wide receivers are Nia Smith and Johnny Wilson. One can only hope that it'll work out that way. But I thought that was really, really very cool. Another thing that is very cool is to hear star players, guys that go up against you and are going to go up against you every day at camp, every day at practice, talk good about you, okay? And that's what we're getting with Isaiah Rodgers. Isaiah Rodgers clearly has been the best player during the OTAs and training camp. He has turned more heads than anybody. And it looks like that this kid is going to probably start on the outside opposite of Slay. And it sounds like they're going to keep him on the outside, which is fine if that's where they want to play him. Now, you got a lot of depth at the outside corner position. You're going to have unbelievable training camp to watch. Like, you talk about watching preseason games and having them matter. Watch the secondary during preseason. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And, the thing about Isaiah Rodgers is that you got guys now like A.J. Brown stepping up and saying, this kid's a player, man. This kid's going to be good. This is what A.J. Brown said about Isaiah Rodgers. Quote, for a guy that has not played football for a year, coming back, he looks like he has been playing nonstop. He flying around, and he's going to do special stuff for us this year. And that's coming from A.J. Brown. And here's A.J. Brown, a guy that's going to go up against him every day. That's one of the big underrated things that people don't understand about the Eagles and the secondary that we don't talk enough about. Every day, Isaiah Rodgers, Slay, Ringo, DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, every day they go up against Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Every day, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith is going up against those guys. There's something about playing those guys in practice every day that makes it easier when you get into Sunday and you're going to play guys who clearly aren't as good. That should be a big advantage for the Eagles, offensively and defensively. I like the idea that everything is hard at practice, pause, no diddy. And then when you get into the game, it's a lot easier. But that's just the case because the secondary is stocked. You got some of the best receivers in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And it's going to be a fascinating battle. That comment comes from A.J. Brown. It doesn't come from the coaches. It's not coming from, Philly 500. That's coming from A.J. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in football. And he's telling you, this guy is going to be that good. So the Eagles, I think they got a steal on Isaiah Rodgers. I've been saying I think they've got a steal on him since they signed him last year. The question is how is it going to all pan out? I assume Bradbury is going to get moved. I don't believe Bradbury is going to play this year. I don't even think Bradbury could beat Isaiah Rodgers out right now the way he's playing. And why would he? Why would you want Bradbury out there? I mean, and I'm not trashing Bradbury or anything or taking shots at him. It's just simple. If you got a young guy and he's relatively playing on the same level, a little worse, a little better, somewhere around even, why would you put the older guy out there? Because of what you're paying him? That's the least of my concerns. Should be the least of the coach's concern. The only people that are going to worry about that is the front office and the owner. Other than that, you want the best player out there. And if Isaiah Rodgers is anywhere close to what they got with Bradbury, you've got to play Isaiah Rodgers. So you're going to get Isaiah Rodgers and you're going to get Slay. Then you're going to have Quinyon Mitchell back up and Ringo back up. You're going to have backups that really need to be on the field. So that's the one negative thing. And maybe you do move a Slay or something like that. I mean, how are you going to get these guys on the field? That's one of the biggest mysteries going into the season. How do you play all these guys? I don't believe that Quinyon Mitchell needs to be sitting and wasting his a year off his rookie contract. I don't think Ringo should be sitting. I don't think Cooper DeJean should be sitting. So you got to find a way to use these guys and get them on the field. But Isaiah Rodgers, I mean, he's turning heads not just with the media and us fans, but some of the biggest stars in the game, like A.J. Brown, saying he's going to do special things for us this year. And you know what? I believe A.J. Brown 100%. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it.
Is this 13 Dingbat Lane? Is this Dingbat Lane, 13 Dingbat Lane? I'm looking for Nelson Aguilar. I can't find him anywhere. You see him? Nelson Aguilar, you there? You home? Can't find you, Nelson Aguilar. Where the hell are you?
Dallas still stinks.
Hi, Michael Anthony Fitness here, MAF.